Peter Michaels.
Patrick Bateman.
Hello again.
Into episode
31.
31.
Congrats,
We're
man.
really starting to get up there a little bit.
Yeah, that's, by my math, that's like 9 months?
Carry the one.
9 months? Four times.
Most of 2021.
I'm just joking.
Most of 2021.
Anyways, yeah, what's going on? How are you?
So I know these guys here in the studio did the
Communal Creative Studios.
Communal Creative Studios. We're doing the Sober October.
Yes.
Which I've decided now to carry. I think, and I didn't do it.
Now they're doing No Nut November.
No Nut November? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then forget it.
What were you going to say, Pete? Sorry.
Not going to be better than that, so forget it.
Okay.
They won't have a hard time with that. That's a tricky one for me.
So, okay. They so what were you going to say? They did Sober October.
They
Congrats,
did Sober
guys.
October.
You made
Good
it
for
through.
you guys. Wow, that's absolutely amazing.
A nice little detox. Listen, you go to a lot of shows, or you did.
Well, I have, yeah.
I go to, we'll say, half of the shows that you go to. How many times have you seen me drink a beer at a show?
Yeah, not very often.
Not very often.
Not very
I feel
often.
bad about it because I go to these shows.
And you also don't buy them for those that are drinking, so.
Well, yeah. Who isn't drinking and then buys beer for the people around them?
You still got to put the effort in.
Anyways, it's because I just, I know I'm a lightweight. And
Yes, we proved last week with your.
Yeah, I also know that as soon as I start drinking, I will do whatever I can to get a cigarette. That's another huge thing.
Yeah, okay. So I'm careful because I just don't want to spend the entire show in the bathroom.
Oh,
so I'm usually,
right.
honestly, I'm like
So you
probably
wear a diaper.
Yeah, I wear the diaper.
But yes, I think you're a much more a level drinker than I am.
I
for sure.
also have a few pounds on you.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. But congrats to all of you that did Sober October. I cannot wait for your November now. The Triple N is going to be a blast. So today on the show, we've got Mitch from Born Ruffians. Did we already say that?
I don't remember.
I don't think we did.
Let's say it again.
On the road, the stage, who I've talked to in the past. I don't believe you have.
I don't think I have. No. And we'll get into their Red Deer appearances.
Yes.
Or appearance.
Lack
or lack
thereof.
of.
Yeah. But super nice guy. Check out Born Ruffians put out a trilogy of albums. Juice, Squeeze, and Pulp.
Which is all within the first one came out in April.
Yeah, April 2020. I think. Yeah.
And then October.
Mm-hmm.
And then the latest just came out.
Yeah. And we should say there's kind of like a bit of a surprise in this episode.
It was a very big surprise. Somebody was busy behind the scenes.
Which was a little fun.
How far in? Do we say? I don't want anybody scrolling just to get to this point.
I sent a request on Thursday.
But how far into the episode?
Oh, like 25 minutes.
Okay, but you got to listen to the first 20. You can't just skip ahead.
Yeah. Because there was a coincidental discussion.
There's discussion that leads into. So if you skip ahead, you're going to be lost. You're going to be well, that wasn't that great of a surprise.
Yeah.
Just sit tight and know that it's coming.
And we won't say any more than that. But I'm glad you enjoyed it, Pete. That's it was fun.
It was very fun.
It was fun.
Very fun. Huge shout out to Sawback Brewing. Go Services Inc.
Tourism Red Deer, Bose Bar and Stage, where Born Ruffians will be playing on June 21st, 2022. How about that?
Let's do it.
It's Mitch.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you, man?
I'm good. I love the setup. I'm already jealous. I wish I had a table that was coming out that I was sitting at the end of, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's all right. I'm glad to hear that you're jealous, that you like it.
It'll fade quickly. Trust us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have full intentions of coercing you to actually physically be in this space.
Yes.
Sometime in the next few months, which we can talk about freely now.
Well, before we get into the profile picture that comes up before you came out, is that Charlie? Is that your dog's name? Is it Charlie?
Yeah, that's Charlie, yeah.
Okay, I love it.
Okay, so Charlie, that's a pretty common dog name, right?
Do you call him Chuck?
Yeah. All the time,
okay.
Yeah.
Is there a reason? Is there a specific Charlie that inspired the Charlie?
A little bit, I guess. He was named after a snowman, if you can believe that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I need to explain any more, or?
Let me think about that.
Touch? Maybe? No, you're good. Okay.
It is funny that you say though that a lot of dogs are named Charlie, because basically anytime we go on a walk, I'll be like, come on, Charlie. And someone will be walking by with their dog and be like, oh, my dog's also named Charlie. It's basically like the Bort license plate joke in The Simpsons, but for dogs.
So named after like a snowman from an established story, or like a snowman that someone named Charlie?
Yes. So the second one, it was a kind of like an homage to my partner's first dog. And when she made a snowman with her dog, who wasn't named Charlie, but thought it'd be a cool way to throw back to her first love, her first dog.
I mean,
Mickey.
that's might be the greatest way of naming a dog I've ever heard, or naming
Yeah,
anything.
it's very touching.
Naming children, dogs, anything. Cars, that's the best way. Wow, that's incredible. Well, how's it going?
Great. Yeah, it's going well. Excited to be kind of doing music things again.
Yeah,
it's been a while since we've been able to do that. But
yeah, we can say while we're talking, the word isn't out, but when this is being listened to, the word will be out that there's a tour.
Yes, yeah, we are announcing a tour, or I guess have announced a tour.
A big old tour.
We're living in the future right now.
That's right.
Yes, yeah, we're making up for lost time. So it's there's a lot of dates, and we're cramming it all in there.
Last time you and I spoke was, I believe, April 2020.
Yep.
You were pretty down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You were pretty bummed because you guys had all these grandiose plans. You had new music. Not only did you have new music, it was the first time you guys were putting out music on your own label, right?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we covered this kind of ground when we spoke then, but it was the start of 2020, like when that year, when the calendar flipped over, it was like, oh man, this is gonna be a big year for us. Here we go. So excited. 3 records and our own label. And then of course all the stupid things happened. But it ended up being, I would still say, this weird, fortunate thing where we were able to still put out music and have things to do, even if we weren't out touring them or whatever. Like, we still released 3 records since we spoke. And I know that was harder for a lot of other bands that weren't able to record or weren't able to do that. So it worked out weirdly okay. I don't want to be like the silver lining. It was okay for us. Sorry, everyone who suffered. No, not like that. But just the idea that we had music to share and could still share it. We were pretty fortunate and grateful for that.
So was the plan with those 3 was to release one tour, release one tour, release one tour? Is that kind of initially what the thought was?
Yeah, like we were probably going to be on the road for all of 2020, and now everything's kind of shifted to this year or next year. Yeah. But it was always going to be the plan, kind of no matter what. It was going to be the same release schedule, put the 3 records out, and it would be something to help propel us through the year and be on tour. And yeah, we're just literally just picking it up and moving it to next year. So
it's really funny. You guys ended that conversation by, I think there was a report at that time. So we're talking May, what'd you say, April 2020?
Yeah, I think so.
And you guys had ended that conversation talking about the report that said that touring wouldn't be back until the fall of 21. And you guys were both like, oh my, yeah, well, yeah. Well, here it is now, the fall of 21.
Yep.
Just kept slamming disappointment into my last interview with Mitch. But so I don't remember that I'm pretty sure you didn't explicitly talk about the trilogy. So to those that don't know, yes, you put out 3 albums, considered the Pulp trilogy, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I wouldn't have talked about it then because we were keeping it kind of a secret throughout the year. Maybe I probably told you in secret, gave you a little secret heads up or something. But
yeah, probably, because I had, or it was probably actually literally the last vinyl record I got is yours.
Right.
For Juice, which would have been the first one, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so how did your plans change in actually putting those records out after the fact?
I think so. We kind of held off pressing vinyl for Squeeze. There was like a pretty high demand for pressing vinyl. It was harder to get.
Yeah.
And we wanted to make sure, because we pressed vinyl for Juice as well, and the plan would be to sell it on the road, which we didn't get to do. So that's been kind of waiting. We sold a few online, but also like that, you sell most of your records when you're on the road, going show to show. So we held off for that for Squeeze, but we do have them now. And I think we pushed Pulp, I think, a little bit too. Things did get a little, pushed with everything that happened, but I don't know. It's working out okay. Like it's ultimately, I'm just like, I want to go play shows.
Yeah.
It's been something that we have just had a taste of over this summer. And then it's like, okay, get us back out there. It's something we haven't done for 18, 20 months or however long it was. And touring has been a big part of our lives for all of our adult lives. We've been touring. So we would like to do that again.
So when that first show fires up, in the Don't Let Up video, there's a scene where you guys come to a van and everybody jumps in. You're the first one to get in and drive. So is that who gets first drive?
Okay, so that's a great little Easter egg we put in the video because I am the only one in the band who doesn't drive. I don't even have my driver's license. So they were just like, you should drive the van. It was like, okay, it's the only time I get to drive the van. So they made fun of me in that one a little bit, but I think it was pretty funny. It gave my parents a laugh, that's for sure.
You've never had your driver's license?
No, I never did. And it's something that as this like pandemic has rolled on and I've grown into being a full man for a long time, it's weighed on me. I'm just like, I just got to do that. Why haven't I done that yet? I still don't think they'd let me drive the van because I don't think they would trust me out there.
Right.
But I should. It's still something I'm just like, why? I just got to do that. I just got to do that. I think it's like a byproduct of living in Toronto for so long where you don't need, it's actually better to not have a car in my opinion because you need a parking space and that's hard to find.
Now that like I don't often hear about a band member who isn't necessarily contributing to the actual driving hours, like, it kind of sounds like a good hack.
Well, I don't think it's that he's not contributing. You're there.
You're on to me, guys. Like, we shouldn't talk about this. Can we cut this from the interview, please?
You're providing moral support, right? I'm sure you're doing lots of backseat driving.
All kinds of stuff.
Do you ever get to choose? Do you ever get to choose the music, or do you have to sacrifice that right?
Yeah, I don't really, I know my part. I'll sit back. I'll be the guy who stays awake with the driver if we're driving late or whatever, but I'm not going to push my like musical agenda on anybody. That's not my place.
Have you ever commented on one of your bandmates driving as someone with no license?
No, there's no way I would ever, that would never leave my lips.
Wow.
And how often does it come up during a drive? Mitch, you should can you just get your license already?
I maintain, and I still think that this is true. They eventually would let me, but I think at first it'd be kind of like, I don't know, should Mitch really be driving? Like, I don't know if he can handle this. And I'll be like, I played Mario Kart. I know how to drive, guys. But no, they've actually been weirdly like, they're seemingly fine with it unless they're talking behind my backs, which that would be a bit of a bummer, but probably would also make sense.
We'll find out next week on the road the stage.
Yeah.
When we individually grill your bandmates about their real thoughts.
No, guys, please don't do that to me.
Damn, that's incredible. I truly don't know how to process that.
Part of me wants to see, like, when you guys pull into Red Deer in June. Like, you've got until June. We'd sure like to see you behind the wheel by June. Can we set a goal?
Okay. Maybe we can. Like, what if, even at the very least, they are hesitant to let me drive. We could pull over to a gas station just before Bose, and then I can take it from there. Maybe that's okay.
I'm tempted to take it even further and get you in like a straight up race car.
Get my own ride.
Just take you out for a day at the track.
Now we're talking.
See what it looks like for someone to drive a real car with nothing but Mario Kart experience. I think that could be amazing.
Yeah. I'd be willing to give that a shot. I think I can do it. What? It's just like two things you need to, I don't know.
A pile of bananas beside you.
Where's A?
Yeah, can I hook up my Switch to the controls? I don't know. I don't get it.
Well, okay, so we've talked about the time spent since touring. We've talked about the fact that you won't be doing any of the driving on this upcoming tour. Let's actually get down to specifics here. Pete?
Dates and details of said tour?
I think that's fair.
So June is is that June the start? And you guys are going to...
No, we're going to be like, you guys are going to be near the end.
We're at the end, okay.
Yeah. Which is actually, I don't know if there's one place or a time that's better or worse to catch a show of ours, but I know for one thing we'll be in fine form by then. You know, we're always like ready to tour and stuff, and maybe at the start you get a little more of the like energy and we're excited to be there, but then by the end we're so like locked in that I think oh man, we're gonna mess up this show for sure. Actually, now that I started saying like this and talking all cocky that we're gonna be good, I'm going to break a bass string or something for a song, and it's going to be blown.
Well, we'll encourage every single one of our listeners to try and catch that.
We're fourth
on June 21st.
We're fourth last.
Yeah, fourth
on the
last.
tour.
Fourth last. Mm-hmm. June 21st at Bose, which is another thing that we should probably discuss because, well, Brennan from Bose made note that this has been a long time coming.
Yes, and very long.
Pete found a listing, like a billing with you guys at Bose.
September of 2016, there's a listing of Tokyo Police Club, Born Ruffians, and the Elwins. But Brennan made it seem like you guys didn't end up making that show.
Did the Elwins kick you off the tour?
They would never, and they know better. No, what happened was, and I'm glad you brought this up because I wanted to bring it up too. We rolled into town and Luke was as sick as I've ever seen him, and he's ever been on tour. We've only ever had to cancel, I think, one show before that in our however many years. At that point, it would have been about 10, 11 years of touring. And we had to cancel out, and he couldn't make a sound with his voice. He tried all day. He did the old like steam under a towel and drinking all the right stuff. And it was, we couldn't do it. And it was the only time besides one other time that we had to stand up on stage and say, we can't play tonight. And that sucks.
And you had to do it.
I think Steve and I both got up there and said something.
That's brutal.
Yeah. Because it is like, we had never actually played in Red Deer before. And we obviously were looking forward to it. But I don't know. Yeah, there's no way around it when it was, you can't make a sound with your voice. So even the next show after that on tour, Luke's voice was somewhat back, but not enough that he felt confident to do the whole thing. So we asked Frankie, and maybe is it just Frankie or Ferd and Frankie from the Elwins to help us sing some songs at the next show. So we practiced with Frankie in our van before the show, and he came up and did a song or two. We did kind of like a shorter set the next night where Luke could half sing, but the night in Red Deer, he couldn't sing at all. So we have owed this show to Red Deer and Bose for 5, and it'll be almost 6 years.
Wow. So still no Red Deer show.
Insane.
That's
Isn't
crazy.
that crazy?
That's
it's
so
crazy.
Insane.
We're one of those a-hole bands that would just do Calgary and Edmonton every time. And everybody in Red Deer is just like, thanks a lot. I guess I got to pick one.
Let me guess. You'd stop here for our donuts and then just keep barreling on.
They tried to pass as a band with a different singer just for the Alberta dates in 2016. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so. Can you do you remember the moment you went on stage with Steve to break the news?
A little bit. It's one of those weird ones where I half remember really what we're saying. Because we're too it's a huge bummer to have to do that.
Yeah, of course.
It's worse than when you go play a show, but you get rained out or something. If it's an outdoor show, It's so frustrating because you have the whole day of build up where you're getting ready to play. Maybe you're doing sound check. You're getting ready before the show. You have all your stuff there, and then you don't get to finish the job and do the show, and which is the most fun part of the whole thing. Someone recently said to me, and I'm sure this is a pretty common phrase, but it's everybody thinks you get paid to play the show, but you don't. You get paid for all the stuff around it, like the load in, the load out, the drive to the show. The show is free.
Yeah.
And we didn't get to do that part. So it leaves you with this awful feeling. So I was kind of in a daze, just and we said, I don't remember what we said. Probably just sorry, Luke's sick and we have to go away now. Bye. But what did happen was during Tokyo Police Club's encore, Steve and I hopped up there, and I think the Tokyo guys learned Little Garçon. We played that with them. So it's cool to do something. But we are going to do an actual real show June 21st.
And you're bringing along the Sham family.
Yes.
Can you tell us about the Sham family?
Yes, Sham family is Wavy Haze Records' first signing, and that's our very own label. We are, so excited to have them. It's been in the works for a while. This is another thing that during this pandemic and time where we would have been touring, a thing to be grateful for is we were able to sign this band. And they have a single out already called This Blue Mob, and we'll be putting their EP out this January. So it'll be out, that's soon. That's in 2 months. Yeah. So we're super excited to bring them on tour. They're a phenomenal live band. We they're going to probably, actually, maybe we won't play our show in Red Deer because they're going to embarrass us on stage every night and be better. And we'll have too much shame to go on stage, but they're fantastic. And I encourage everybody to check them out.
Will do. Are they from Toronto as well?
They're from Whitby, actually.
Okay.
Toronto area. But yeah, they're a great band. They've been at it for years in different kind of combinations of the same kind of guys. And we found them just at the right time, I think, in terms of hitting their stride as both a live band and the music they've made that you'll get to hear very soon.
So I'm curious about how you guys are going to, so this is the first band that you've signed.
Yes.
And have you got others on board now as well, or just kind of focused on these guys?
Maybe.
Okay.
And who are they?
I don't know.
What are their names?
Contract details?
I don't know what I'm allowed to say or what I'm not allowed to say, but I guess that'll tell you about as much as you need to know. But we're very excited for the things that are to come.
Okay. So when it comes to signing bands, like I imagine like you guys have toured around and been around so much, you know a lot of bands. Have you had to turn any of them aside that have been, oh, you guys got a record label? Why don't you sign us?
Yeah, how many
We've toured with you guys?
letters?
I actually think it's maybe had been the opposite, where we've reached out in terms of like, hey, we could, and it's like, well, maybe not. Okay, I don't know. So I think we're getting used to this new kind of world, like being on this side of things a little bit. We've been on the band side of things for a long time. But to be on this other side, we're still like, or at least I find I'm still getting used to something like that, whether it's reaching out to a band and wanting to work with them and maybe it doesn't work out, or the other way around, where you do have to say something like, I don't know, and you just don't really know how to navigate that space fully yet. But right now it's just going well, that we're it's exciting to have people that are interested in working with us, and likewise, because we when we first started this, I envisioned it just mostly being our kind of thing, releasing our own music and letting us kind of have the creativity we want to release music. And then it started coming up to the idea of putting out other bands and being a platform that is this artist friendly, because we are artists and wanting to do right by the artist. So it's exciting. It's cool. And there'll be maybe more.
Do you feel like more of a businessman than ever before with this project?
I think I have like imposter syndrome with that. Like I could never believe that would be me. So I can't even say that. I don't think so.
Do you own a briefcase?
Yeah.
You guys already know all the things I don't do. Okay. Having a briefcase is definitely also one of them.
Okay.
It'd just be filled with crackers.
Doesn't drive, doesn't have a briefcase. Has a tie, questionable. We'll find out by the end of this episode.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find one. I have Bret Hart glasses, which we did cover up before. I didn't wear them this time. I didn't bring them this time.
No, me neither.
You didn't bring them?
I did wear a Bret Hart shirt.
Oh, those shirts are sick too. I love like these those shirts.
Yeah. I think I got the last one on their website in my size, so I was very excited.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, that was a legitimately in my radio career a strong top of the list highlight for me was that absurd moment of just spontaneous connection. Us and Bret the Heart Hitman glasses. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And you know what? Speaking of wrestling,
what's going on here?
Oh, what? How did this?
Wow, party crashers!
What the fuck is going on?
Was this a public link?
I think Frankie and Ferd heard us shit talking them a few minutes ago.
We weren't. No, we were speaking kindly about you guys.
We're getting the band back together.
Fortnite, man. Why aren't you on Fortnite, dog?
I told you I can't play right now.
Were you guys supposed to gang up together on some kids on Fortnite or what?
Yeah,
We're supposed to squad up. Travis is here too.
12-year-old.
Oh my God, it's Travis, my new best friend.
This is a great ambush. I feel like that's happening right now.
Can we ask Travis what
This
date?
got you,
I also feel like this isn't the first time I've been ambushed by you guys in some kind of like digital media capacity. I think you guys cold called me for your Valentine's Day show one time.
that is true.
We're the digital bad boys.
We're the digital bad boys.
Welcome to the metaverse, motherfucker.
The
That's where the
DBB.
name comes from.
Okay, Pete, before we continue and find out what all this anger is from Ferd over here, what was your question for Travis?
Well, I'm going to change up the question a little bit. We were actually just talking a little earlier about the tour that you guys had with the Ruffians and Tokyo Police Club.
Yeah, Travis.
And there was a Red Deer show that Born Ruffians couldn't make. So, Travis, I'm just wondering if you could tell me the date of that show.
We all said it before, just so you know.
Wow.
Because we know you're great with
everyone
dates
so well
and
last
remembering
time.
with numbers. And
Well, you guys were at the show. You just didn't play, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
We didn't just not play. We couldn't play.
we
just
start
had
with a year,
You guys
Travis.
said,
Do you
like,
remember
you
the
didn't
year?
feel like it, I think.
Not
You
tonight.
guys were all like, yeah, my fingers hurt. The bass is hard.
I say that before every show, and I still play. So
I don't know, October?
Oh,
That's what he
said
said last
October.
time. That's
Wow.
what he said last time. Okay, what about this? When was the release date of the second last Born Ruffians album, Travis? Do you remember the date for that?
Second last. Is that Pulp?
no, that's the most recent one.
Oh, Squeeze?
That was the
Juice.
one before that.
let's start
That was
naming
the
all
one
of them.
before that.
Okay, so
Okay.
Just orange. It was just orange.
This is a reverse ambush now. You guys thought you were ambushing me. Now you're getting trivia questions about my band that you can't even answer.
Wait, so second last outside of that trilogy?
no. No. It's you know what? I'm getting the idea that Travis is only like a memory magician with Elwyn's related dates.
That would make more sense, maybe.
Or you could ask him about Beatles track listings.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, well, listen. So we're just having a pleasant conversation with Mitch, and all of a sudden, you the DBB. What was it? Sorry, what did the DBB? Digital Bad Boys.
Yeah, the digital.
Digital
bad
Bad Boys.
Yeah.
Ferd, you've got what might be the nicest Adidas sweater I've seen in my life.
It's pretty sweet.
Adidas.
Is that your wrestling getup right there?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is my persona.
Yeah. The Digital Bad Boys does sound like a tag
Fucker
team.
punk.
Yeah. So we've got the newest indie wrestling stable that showed up to basically challenge Mitch to another match of Fortnite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm scared. I don't want to play.
Challenge Mitch to play Fortnite with us.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, that's the
To make us
challenge.
better
If he can
because
put
he's
up
the
with
best
us.
Yeah,
Mitch,
that's the challenge.
okay, so but you guys you do that regularly anyways, right?
Yeah, actually, I
It's been a
texted
little
for-
bit. But
It's been a little bit because I don't know. It just kind of fell off for a little bit. But I got a invite from Ferd today to play because I was playing for the first time in a really long time. I actually had to text him and say I can't do this. I have to go. This stressed me out too much because I hadn't played in so long, and it just like shot my nerves for some reason. I did win the game though, so
oh,
guys
okay.
can-
Nice.
Sounds like it didn't hit you too hard. Then.
that's right. But then I was just like, I can't do this anymore. It's just
When
like
you win, that the nerves get the worst because at the very end you're just sweating it out.
Yeah, it's pure
Yeah.
adrenaline.
I thought I was
Yeah.
gonna screw it up. And I got your message, and I was just like, I can't. I have to go. I literally had to go. I went and took a walk. Which is
Ah,
a good thing to do.
I hope I don't reveal that I'm about to crash your podcast.
So oh man, that was too funny. For a moment, I literally thought there was.
I was kind of relieved.
I thought for a second you guys did just like somehow. I was like, how is this possible? You can just jump in on this, but I didn't know this was a coordinated attack. So
Do you
We've been piggybacking on other people's interviews. So yeah, we put out a record during the pandemic. Spotify, and,
We got vinyl for sale on Kill the Aid.
if you're a fan of Born Ruffians, you're gonna love this.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
does it
It's a genius idea.
did I see the other day that Travis also has are you working on some music?
Oh, yeah. I got tunes in the works, and they'll be coming out next year, probably. Yeah.
Damn, that was pretty good. It's pretty
Yeah.
good. All right, well, so we've got the attack from the DBB. Do you have a response to this point of aggression, Mitch?
Yeah, like next time you guys are on a call with your family or someone that you really care about, I'll be there.
Went right for the
I
family.
can't wait.
Cutthroat. Ooh.
I'll be there.
It's the greatest threat I've ever received.
Oh my God. Oh my
Imagine
God.
if I just started showing up on any one of your calls. I'm going to find a way to do that, and you're going to be surprised. And I'm going to sell my merch to your mom.
Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because my mom is the only one that actually listens to this podcast. So expect her order in the next couple days. Pete?
I'm totally distracted because Ferd's got that fridge behind him. Is there a breakfast burrito in there?
In the fridge?
In the fridge?
I fucking wish there was. If Frankie lived here, there'd be one.
Hell yeah. I'm on my way.
I just figured they'd be around everywhere, but
Did we talk about breakfast burritos?
It was breakfast burritos, wasn't it?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I went on a bender.
A bender.
Yeah.
Well,
a BB bender.
It was a really long time.
Well,
It was totally in alignment with like the DBB ethos though, so it's all good.
So wait,
Yeah,
did you guys evolve from soy boys to digital bad boys?
Wow.
Some are calling it an overcorrection, but yeah, that was the evolution.
Some people just had a glow up during the pandemic. You know, you have time on your hands, and that's what can happen.
It was a necessary evolution, I think.
Yeah, we could be soy no more.
We went completely off soy.
That's good.
Are we allowed to give Mitch some Born Ruffians trivia?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh God, I don't know about this.
Mitch, what's track 7 on birthmarks?
Do you know, or do you have it in front of you? I don't think I know.
In front of me.
I honestly don't.
Travis?
The first one that came to my mind was going to be like a half joke, like so slow, but I don't think it is actually that track.
Do we look it up? I don't have the record right here.
Is it With Her Shadow?
Honestly, that would have been my guess.
Can we get a number crunch on this?
Yeah, I'm doing it, guys.
Ferd's typing. Answer coming.
We did have fact check. When we had the Elwins on, we did have a few instances where we had to fact check just Travis's answers, which were all correct, if I'm not mistaken.
Was it a Beatles track list game?
No, it was about their own releases.
Oh.
It was
you had a bigger hand in those ones, I guess.
It was actually representative of us just not having the research.
We didn't fully do our
Yeah.
preparation. It's on us for sure.
It's on us. Wow, taking responsibility.
Did you find the answer, Mitch? What was the answer?
I did. It's a song called "Rage Flows."
Didn't answer in the form of a question. We can't accept that. Wrong.
I'm sorry. Sorry, I looked it up.
Well,
I don't know my own music. I'm sorry.
I mean, I didn't come prepared for trivia tonight, guys. I know it's Monday night trivia or whatever the hell it's called. I guess that is there a specific trivia?
I think it's
night?
called Monday Night Trivia.
Yeah, Monday night trivia. Okay. MNT.
Tuesday trivia would be.
What?
What's the 12th bass note in your favorite Born Ruffians song?
Wow, great question. I'm gonna say D, and that's all. I'm not gonna tell you.
Final answer.
It's B flat.
God, Mitch, it sounds like you've got some work to do.
Chorus of 30th Century War.
How many what?
How many bars are in the last chorus of 30th Century War?
Man.
I'm not.
Frankie, your nerd face is outrageous.
Ruthless.
War.
30th Century War by Born Ruffians. How many bars are in the last chorus?
Push the glasses up. Push the glasses up.
Chorus. How many bars?
How many bars? Admit it right now. There's 30. There's 30 because that's what it's called.
Ooh,
that's why it's called that.
I never even thought about the Easter eggs you put in for the fans are so cool.
Everything we do is an Easter egg.
So I just want to Pete didn't know about this ambush today, and I reached out to Ferd the other day because I don't know where I thought the Elwins were opening.
You did this?
Yeah, I thought they were opening for Born Ruffians on the next tour, but I guess not, guys. Sorry, I don't know if you
we're
knew
not.
That. No.
Yeah, we're actually here to tell you that you're not.
I've got to make some calls.
Man.
So you guys have some free space next June.
What is it with that last time we had the Elwins on the podcast? It got all dark and depressing then, too. Like, it's the Elwins, just dark and depressing.
Yeah, that's what they're known for.
There's two words I can use to describe them. That would be it.
That would be it. Dark and depressing.
They're a very moody, brooding type band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sharing the road with
them.
And they're
also
the burden.
just no bad boys, but they're kind of moody and broody also.
Well,
yeah.
No bad boys.
mean, you got to be a little moody and emotional these days, no? Real authenticity. Well, listen, you know what? I think you guys ambushed quite well. Now, before we continue, is there any chance that this very moment could inspire some sort of supergroup?
This moment?
Yes, this moment. Because Mitch,
nobody's jumping right away.
15, 20 minutes ago, Mitch, we happened to talk about the Elwins, and you basically said that they'd never disappoint you, right? Never let you down, something like that?
Yeah, I don't even know if I remember saying that, but I would say that about them. Honestly, I would. So I would. I don't remember. And
let's roll the tape back.
That part got edited out already. It's too late. Cutting room floor.
I think the digital bad boys is about to expand. That's what I'm feeling like.
Count me in.
There's an expansion of the digital bad boys.
Yeah. Because here's what I did say, and I think maybe this is what it was in line with. I was talking about how when Luke lost his voice and couldn't play the show, the next night or the next show, like I can't remember if it was 2 days or 1 day, Frankie, you joined us on stage to sing some of our songs, and you did a great job. I did do that. So we could count on you. We ran songs in the van beforehand and then played. So maybe that's what it was about. And if it wasn't, that is what it's about.
Hold on,
our guys you can count on. I want to be a digital bad boy.
I'm going to Wikipedia to update that Frankie was a part of the Born Ruffians.
Yeah, sang.
former member. Frankie was in. It's official now.
Now, I think it's a fine idea, Mitch, for you to join the DBB, but at the same time, I know that you're a big enough wrestling fan that this whole storyline needs to stretch over, 6 to 8 months.
This is a big story arc, which ends with me turning on them again.
Right. But
it was all a ruse.
But in this very moment, they've ambushed you. They took a chair to your back. Travis specifically took a chair to your back, and Frankie and Ferd laughed. How are you going to run them off the stage of the road, the stage right now?
Oh, that's an easy one.
You guys scared?
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
You guys should be fucking terrified.
Well, they're still sitting there. They're waiting for it.
Frankie's.
I'm shaking.
Look at this grin. He's not scared at all.
Man, the suspense.
What is going to happen? Oh my God.
Oh, Charlie.
So cute.
Oh. Is it working?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's working.
It's working. We'll go.
Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here.
Did they go? I don't know if it worked.
There goes one's gone.
Oh, okay, nice.
Wow.
Wow. Charlie. We did it.
Good job, Charlie.
Good job, Charlie. Terrifying, beautiful dog.
Charlie deserves a treat. Where's the treats?
We need treats.
I don't know. What do you like? It seems like AEW is hiring everyone and their mother. I think you guys have a chance.
I think so. Can you get me in there somehow?
It seems like it's the easiest thing to do.
Do they have a dog and bass player tag team yet? Maybe. I don't know.
Well,
a lot of matches.
Are you following AEW pretty hard?
Yeah, like yes, religiously, basically.
I haven't really been following wrestling for a few years now, but I do understand the weight that AEW has, the impact that it's made in the last year and a half, or something like that. But is it the Butcher? The Butcher is the guitar player from Every Time I Die, right?
Andy Williams, yeah.
And he's doing pretty well, right?
He's amazing. He's awesome. He actually he's been there for a little bit now. But of like anybody who's in a band, also he had tour dates and stuff, so he left for a while.
Right.
And then, but he's back, and he's wicked. He lives essentially like my dream life.
Yeah, putting out killer music. Now, I guess that brings me to another question: if you were to play in a band that also had wrestlers in it, would you rather play with Andy in Every Time I Die, or would you play with Chris Jericho and Fozzy?
Boy, that's a tough one. For real, that's tough because like Fozzy is so funny to me. Like we were just talking about this is so weird in band practice the other day. We were talking about, do you think anybody's like a fan of Fozzy? And then someone's like, oh, see, like you must like wrestling. Like he's a good wrestler, right? And then, what? Does anybody know Fozzy without knowing that Chris Jericho's a wrestler? Or are they just like, oh, cool band? Like there's nobody, right? The crossover is 100%. There's just no one who found out about them and just never knew that he was a wrestler. And I was like, that.
So when you show up at a concert, instead of everybody wearing Fozzy shirts, so they're wearing Y2J shirts. Is that?
I don't know. Have you been to a Fozzy show, Mitch?
I have not. I almost went when they played at Tattoo Rock Parlor in Toronto, which is like a smaller rock club, and I was just like, that would be funny to go see Chris Jericho sing songs in. But I didn't do it because I also think, like, I don't know, it just I can't take it too seriously. Like, I think he does, but it's just it's always going to be Chris Jericho on stage singing songs.
Yeah,
and there's never going to be able to accept it for the music that it is.
That must keep him up at night.
I don't know if it does. He's living the dream life too. Like, I've read both of his books, or he has 3 or more now. Okay, I've read his books, and he talks about how, like, one of my favorite quotes is, I think it's maybe a Paul Stanley quote or something for him, and he's just like, he grew up being like, I want to be a wrestler and I want to be a rock star, and people would say, well, you can't do both. He's like, why not? And Paul Stanley, I think, is quoted as saying, those who can't, or what is it? Those who can't tell you can't. Those who did it tell you can, because they believe. And it's just like, oh, okay, cool. And he like took that advice as, I'm going to do both, and he did. And of course, he thinks anybody can do anything that they want because he did it. But kind of what an insane life that is. I don't know. Just he literally just had a cruise where he wrestled on and played with his band. Wow. Just out there on a boat in the ocean or whatever, singing Fozzy songs and doing drop kicks. Pretty cool.
And he's how old? How old is he?
Good question. He's how old is he? I would put him late 40s.
Oh yeah, I would think 50 for sure. Yeah,
maybe 50. I'm not sure. Yeah, he's been around a long time, but
yeah. And did he? I mean, we don't need to make this about Chris Jericho necessarily, but has he said he's sided with some problematic views in the last year and a half?
He's had, yeah, I think there's been a couple. There's been some stuff where he, I think his wife might have been a Trump supporter, or maybe even an anti-vaxxer at one point. I don't want to spread misinformation either. I'm not wholly sure. I think his vaccine views at one time weren't great. He seems like the kind of guy who just is like talks for a living, because he has a podcast also, and just kind of everything comes out. Yeah, like whether good or bad. So yeah, I won't stand behind his politics necessarily, but wow, what a wrestler.
Well, yeah, we won't say too much more, because I would hate for 5-10 years down the road for your chances to be in Fozzy to be hampered by this interview. So
all of a sudden there's an opening for a bass player, and I'm like, oh, my chance is finally here. And he's like, whoa, I saw what you said. No, why'd I do that?
Oh man. Well, that was fun. Peter had no idea that was happening.
No, that was a very nice surprise. Anytime you get those guys,
those
going.
Goofs, bunch of goofs.
When we had them on the show, it was just laughs after laugh after laugh. I don't even know if we actually talked about much.
No,
sounds about right.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't think anything really got covered.
There was a moment when I forget who was in the car. Someone called in from their car. Well, wouldn't have. Anyways, they were just figuring out where they were based on the back of the car.
Yeah, they're no one likes a good bit like the other ones. They'll grab onto it, they'll sink their teeth in it and not let go.
Well, and it's
until you
chase
good. Them away with your dog.
Yeah, and it's good that we finally just got to tell them that they weren't opening for you on your 2022 tour.
Yeah, great to break that news here in person.
Well, speaking of that tour, like we're saying, it's going to be great because it is finally your big moment to shine on stage at Bose, which is very different than when you even set foot on it briefly in 2016. So that's exciting.
Really?
Yeah,
that is exciting.
And again, when you go through the process of getting ready for this, so normally you'd release the album, you'd know kind of what you're going to play off, but you guys have 3 albums worth of material that you now have to try to work into a tour where it all would have been separated nicely. So how do you pick? How do you decide what gets highlighted?
Yeah, great question. It's something that we're going to work hard on in the coming months to build like some sets or a good group of songs from. We want to cover all 3 records, but then we also want to play a lot of old stuff too.
Yeah,
because it's obviously been a long time since we've been out, and I know a lot of people want to hear some stuff from back in the day, and we want to play it. So it's going to be, we're working on it now. We're actually writing a little bit right now. But in the coming months, we're going to whittle down how we want to put these sets together and make sure everything gets represented well.
You know, it'd be great to just start the show with, all right, we've released 3 new albums and we're going to play all 3 of them.
Yeah, rebrand as a prog rock band. Yeah.
This show will never end. I'd give that a shot.
I did spend quite a bit of time with the trilogy over the last couple of days, and I did listen to them as they were coming out, but altogether, fantastic. I dare say that trilogy is better than the latest Star Wars trilogy.
Wow, interesting. Difficult comparing 2 different mediums, but
yeah. Well, I didn't find it that difficult, but yeah,
true statement.
No, it's a lot of fun. And are you bringing? What was the first single from Juice?
The first single, "I Fall in Love Every Night," might have been the first one off that.
There's marimba in that, right?
Marimba.
Is that marimba? There's a really lovely, like, it's either bells or xylophone or something.
The Ruffians trivia was done.
Oh, man, I'm losing again. I don't know if we had any marimba, but there might have been like a bell type thing, but I don't think on that. We had horns on that song.
Maybe it wasn't that song, but
I think you're thinking. I think you're thinking of an Elwyn's tune.
No, definitely not, because I've had it stuck in my head for the last 2 days, but I'm not going to attempt to hum it for you right now. So, do you who's in the band right now? Who is the Born Ruffians?
That's a good point. I was going to bring up so Maddie Wild, who sings on for sure on Juice and maybe also on Squeeze, but she's featured on Hey You, a song on Juice. She has been playing shows with us lately and practicing with us and writing with us.
Cool.
So she's on tour with us wherever we go in the coming year. And it's only been like 7 shows or something that she's played with us now, but it's been really great. Like, it's been such a natural fit that we've known her for a long time. So the vibe is, we kind of knew going in, but it's kind of crazy how well she fits in on stage and in the van and even writing as we have been for the last little bit. So I think it'll be fun to actually get a whole tour under our belt with her and see the show kind of like evolve as we play throughout 2022.
Takes a little heat off you for not driving too, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yes, we need more people in the band, as many as we can get, please.
I love hearing that you're writing, as if spitting out 3 albums in the course of a year isn't enough. There's more on the way.
Yeah, it's we haven't written anything new for a long time because we've had those records in the bag for a while. It was like, it feels like it's been a long time because it has for us, but we having those records spaced out, it feels like everything's still pretty new. But yeah, we're just back to it.
Were they recorded in succession? Like, were they all recorded together, or what was the timeline between recording those songs?
So the 3 records we originally went in just to record a record, and the more and more that we brought into the studio and that we recorded, we realized we had more songs than we felt comfortable cutting. But it was this weird thing where we were like, we literally had at one time, I think 50 songs for those records. So some still didn't quite make it. But we realized we kind of had a few batches of songs that fit certain vibes, and we ended up being like, why don't we make 2 records? And we're like, wait, we can make 3. We're just like realizing like we have so many records. So it ended up being just kind of like sectioning these songs off, and in the Juice vibe, Squeeze, and then Pulp was kind of the last one. But it was something that like we got so used to wanting to make short records, and normally we're able to kind of cut it down and make it make sense. This time it was just like we had so much that we were like, we have to give these songs their moment and not let them just disappear.
I love the one quote I saw from a guy on one of the YouTube videos who equated
dangerous territory.
Dangerous territory for sure. His comment was, with the 3 albums, I like how your albums this year describe my beer taste, because I've been drinking so much I went from hazy to regular IPA to juicy IPA.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He's really like climbing the ladder of
following the route
of craft beer. I can relate. I understand.
I'm going to bring something up, but I just want to preface it by saying that we have this, we put some of our notes together on a Google Doc, okay? A little behind the scenes of how this works here at
we do?
the Road the Stage.
When do I get access to that?
And Pete would have bugged me for bringing this up on my own, but I see you actually made a note about the Leafs. That was not me.
Yes. So we are
open it up.
Yes, Patrick usually you've been pretty good.
No, I have not. I've never done it because I know I'll get relentlessly shit on. So you bring it up, and then we can talk about it.
We are somewhat kindred spirits in that I'd seen a quote from you or heard a quote from you talking about how when you guys are booking tour dates, you'll look at the cities you're going to see if the Leafs happen to be playing in that city so that you can potentially catch a game. I don't book a holiday, and my wife hates it. But every time we've got a trip planned for something, I'm like, I wonder if there's a ball game I could. Let's not go to that city because there's not an NHL team or an MLB team. So I will book vacations around sports events.
What sports you can catch. Yeah. That is the dream on tour.
So how many times have you been able to follow the Leafs? What other places have you seen them play?
Well, tour has not gifted us any of those opportunities. No, it's like you're just hoping and praying, but it just doesn't happen.
Well, it's because you're touring in May and June, and they don't play in those months. So I think that's probably where you've gone wrong.
That is.
Wait a second. Wait. Was that some sort of dig? I'm sorry. I was thinking about how this is the year.
Right, okay, it's just true. Although, this time around, I checked the tour dates. I'm like, we're going to be going on tour right when the playoffs start.
Right.
Which usually the Leafs have a good track record of at least getting a few games in there. So
wait a minute, did I see Boston early on in that tour? It's there's Boston late April.
Yeah, well, who knows? I
don't know.
I'm leaving that up to the fates. But it is following the Leafs on tour, if we're on tour, is difficult in its own right in terms of trying to stream games and trying to just watch the game. Being able to go to a game, that would be a total perfect storm if we had a day off in the city where they were playing like that. It'd be crazy. So it hasn't happened. The best we could do is we had a couple of days off in New York and we saw the Islanders and the Sabres play when both teams were very bad.
Oh.
So and it was not a great game. It was such a bummer to go to. It was man. But right before COVID hit, Luke and some pals and I went and road tripped to Buffalo. We saw the Leafs in Buffalo. Saw them lose in Buffalo. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Leaf fans.
Was this preseason?
No, this was in the right before COVID hit in February 2020.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. So we went and saw the lose and got a lot of chirps leaving that arena. And then this season we went to Ottawa and saw them lose in Ottawa.
Yep.
Got a lot of chirps on the way out. So we're starting to learn our lesson of maybe just watch them
noticing a theme
in Toronto, and maybe they'll win, or when they lose, we just don't get as many chirps from the opposing team leaving the building.
It's tough. A couple of years ago, we were in Anaheim for just a family trip to Disneyland.
Pete's an Oilers fan.
And I'm an Oilers fan.
Okay,
so
cool.
The Oilers and Ducks were in the first round of the playoffs that year. So, I did some sweet talking to my wife. And I'm like, we're here. And so I forget what game it was. But anyways, the Oilers went up 3-0. And we're like, Jack, this is amazing. And it was that game that Anaheim slowly came back.
Yeah.
The Oilers
blew
the
goaltender interference game?
Yes.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have brought that
I remember that.
But
Sorry.
yes. So and then they ended up losing 4-3 in double overtime. And me and my Oilers gear have to walk out of that duck pond. It was not a fun. Thank God I had my kids with me because I think there was some sympathy shown.
Okay.
If I hadn't had the kids with me, I'm sure it would have been.
You didn't have to Charlie Brown walk out the whole
no.
time. Yeah, that's fair.
Oh man, that was heartbreaking for me to watch, and I was just watching that as an impartial fan. But I remember being just like, what? That
he had his hand wrapped right around his pad.
We've said too much. We've said too much.
We're gonna send us both into the dark realm right now, just of sadness.
I do have to ask, so you said you went with somebody. One of your friends is Brent from Indy 88, right? So is he part of the organization now? Is he getting,
with the Leafs?
Is he getting paid by the Leafs? He's doing interviews to promo the Amazon show with Jack Campbell. I saw you had a paid post last night on Instagram or 2 nights ago or whenever it was.
Yeah.
Good on him if he did, right?
He's just embedded in the organization.
As far as he's really circling it. He seems to be always around. So I don't know if it's he's officially on the payroll quite yet, but he
looks like one of the more fashionable Leafs fans as well.
Yeah, he's got his brand really set up. He's doing a great job though. Like I admire his hard work for that, because he beyond just working with the radio station here. Yeah, this is all stuff that he puts in, effort that he puts in on his own as a hustle, and he's just great at it. So maybe one of those days he'll get there, but right now he does seem like he's just hovering and circling, just waiting to attack.
I think he'll when we get the next, maybe not the next, but the one after, like the big promotional thing where Bieber and Matthews hang out again. I think he'll be right there. He'll be the third.
Yeah, he's just slowly inched his way in there.
Yeah. When Bieber and Matthews record their song together or whatever the hell they're gonna do. It was funny on Saturday night. I'm sitting on the couch with my girlfriend's in Calgary, and we're watching the game. And the game ends, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. Well, I was feeling all right. The end was a little hairy, but
it was a bit
like it has been for the last 3 years. But the game ends, and I was like, okay, cool. It's 2 in a row. I'm feeling decent. When's the next game? And I was like, oh shit, we got Mitch. We're taking Mitch from the game on Monday. Oh my god. But we lucked out. There's no game tonight.
We didn't luck out. When you asked my availability, I chose the days that weren't Leaf games because I'm a little sick boy. I need to watch my hockey. So I'm pretty sure I'm free. Not that day. Oh. So I'm glad. That was. I'm smart.
Well,
I knew this was going to divulge into a lot of TML talk.
You wrote it down. You wrote it down.
That was just a quick one in, one out.
To the end.
I didn't. That's
the problem. We could go off on it forever, and I'm trying to hold back because I could. Yeah, we could go on it forever. But
the only thing. Okay, I have one more question.
Oh, yeah.
How are you feeling about the fact that Freddie Anderson is on an unstoppable tear right now?
Oh boy, that is a. Are
you surprised?
A tough one. It's weird because I don't think I would have predicted this kind of start for him. But I had to laugh when they were showing the game, when they were playing Carolina the other night, and they showed Freddie's last 5 Octobers where it was just like below 900, 800 save percentage all 5 years. And then this year, wow, really good. I was just like, wonder what happened. Wonder why that is. Like, oh yeah, right. He's not playing behind the Toronto Maple Leafs anymore. So there's something to be said about that. Like Carolina is clearly a better team overall defensively at the very least. And it's just crazy. I'm happy for the guy in one way. So I was at the game on Saturday, the Detroit game.
Nice.
And I was lucky enough to have really good seats due to a friend having seasons tickets that I sold them for a good price that I had to pay. Anyway, so in warm-up, I took this photo of Matthews because he always would take a knee with Frederik Andersen during warm-ups, and there's tons of photos of them before every game like that. Yeah. And he's just there doing it by himself now. And I was just like, that's kind of sad. That's kind of like 2 birds, and one bird has left, and the other bird's waiting for the one bird to come back. I'm just like, I feel like this is emotional for me, but I don't know. I think the guy's always been a good goalie, and Carolina's a good team. I feel like I'm doing a hockey interview right now.
I named my dog after him.
Are you really?
Do I have to change my dog's name?
You do.
Yeah, your dog's now named Soupy.
I don't know. I'm not confident, but anyways.
I kind of like his dog naming story a little bit better.
Oh, totally.
Fair enough.
Well, Mitch, it's been a real pleasure talking to you again. Pete, you got anything else?
No, I can't wait to finally get this Bo show under our belts and hopefully have you guys in here when you pop into town too.
Absolutely. It's always great catching up with you guys, and this is a long time coming. So we're looking forward to getting on the road and actually playing for the first time instead of getting on stage and announcing that we're not.
Cool, man. Sounds good.
Thanks, fellas.
Peace, dude.
See you, man.
Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. So have you talked to Mitch before?
I don't.
Like, they've obviously never been at the station.
They haven't been at the station. I don't know that I have, honestly.
Well, you did. You just did.
Now I did. My world is forever changed.
Really nice guy.
Yeah.
Really, really nice guy. Really interesting dude. And then I will quickly, there was a moment when I interviewed him a year and a half ago where we started talking about wrestling. And although I wasn't really and still have backed off following wrestling, I have these Bret Hart glasses that are signed. And I pulled them off of my computer desk when we were on the Zoom call.
And you just had them randomly on that computer desk?
Yeah. There's like a couple memorabilia things on top of the desk, right? But so I pulled them off. I was like, oh, you might find these interesting. And then, he just jumped out of his chair and came back with the exact same glasses. It was hilarious.
I'm not going to lie. I fully hoped that this would turn into a little bit more of a wrestling podcast.
Yeah.
Like, I knew there'd be a way to work some music stuff into it as well, but you get going with a hardcore wrestling fan. And I'm not up on it now. So the AEW stuff, I don't know that. But from 1982 to 2005.
Big time.
Big time.
Big time. Yeah, all you really need to know is that there's an actual contender in that universe now.
To bring Vince down.
Really challenging them.
So who do they have now? We are going to turn this into
everybody.
Really?
They have poached so many wrestlers. It's stupid.
So is Vince just going to end up buying them out at some point? Like,
I don't know if he can. I think the guy that runs it is like just a billionaire who's like, you know what, this product has sucked for so long.
Yeah.
I think I might be mistaken, but I think his like dad owns the Jacksonville Jaguars or something like that. Like he's real money.
Yeah.
And then just decided to start picking all of these guys and women from all these promotions. And WWE was all of a sudden cutting contracts. And then there's just a bunch of out-of-work wrestlers that people love that this company started swooping up. And it's just been in the last year. And they're like setting ratings records and like attendance records.
The product is that, like, do they have a nationally done show?
Yeah, I don't know where it's broadcast.
Filling arenas?
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, it's wild.
Time for me to get back into it, I think.
I've been reading about it. I haven't really seen any of it, but it's a really cool thing to see an institution that has generally always had lots of criticism and rests on a lot of mediocrity. Be challenged like that. It's very, very punk. It's pretty cool.
I used to, my grandfather was a huge wrestling buff. And that's kind of where I got into it as a kid. But he used to tell me all the time that wrestling was real. Like that it was completely, that was not staged. They beat the living snot out of each other. But every summer they'd get together in a boardroom and decide who was going to win the Stanley Cup the next year.
Oh, interesting.
So
he believed this.
He believed it.
He believed that.
I mean, he's telling me at like 8, 9, 10 years old.
Right.
I thought he believed it.
Is he fibbing with you?
Maybe. I'll never know now.
That's awesome.
I'll never know.
That's awesome. Well, that was Mitch DeRosier. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly, from Born Ruffians, who, as of the release of this episode, will be at Bose on June 21st with Sham Family.
I can look forward to checking those guys out as
I
well.
know.
And that's cool. The whole record label side of things.
Yeah, Wavy Haze, check that out.
Is very impressive.
Really nice guy, and I can't wait to show them Communal Creative Studios too, because I think those guys appreciate a green screen. They've done some goofy shit.
I was just gonna say, you can tell with guys like they're gonna be fun on stage, right?
Totally,
When that's what they're like, just kind of chilling, and it's gonna be a fun show.
Yeah, well, and Mitch won't have done any driving, so he'll be well rested.
He should be.
But yeah, so the show that was supposed to happen damn near 6 years ago, by the time this one in June happens. Well, maybe we shouldn't say anymore.
I don't want to say anymore. I don't. Yeah.
Shout out to Sawback Brewing. Who else?
You know.
Who else? Go Services Inc. Tourism Red Deer.
Good. I was going to bail you out.
And Bose Barn Stage. Thank you.
Producers
Love
Ryan and Ryley, who, once you guys started talking about all that Toronto Maple Leaf shit, Ryan's playing Far Cry back there. I was just going to go watch that instead.
BTS, The Road, The Stage. TRTS, BTS, CCS. All right, Pete, when are we back?
Next Wednesday.
The Road the Stage is produced by Ryan Kuly and Ryley Surian at the Communal Creative Studios in Red Deer, Alberta. In partnership with Go Services Inc., Sawback Brewing Co., Tourism Red Deer, and Bose Bar and Stage.